When we talk about immigrants, we often hear numbers, policies, borders, but today I want you to forget the headlines, forget the noise. I want you to hear the heartbeats, the heartbeat of the woman who wakes up before sunrise to clean offices she'll never sit in, or of the young man who crossed deserts for a shot at a future his country couldn't offer, of the parents who built their lives in silence, raising children to speak a language they're still learning. This episode is about them, the real people behind the word immigrant. It's about why they matter, why they belong, and why supporting our Mexican brothers and sisters is not just the right thing to do, it's the American thing to do. I'm your host, Tyler Phoenix, and this is the Wild Archive. Let's talk truth. Let's talk humanity. Hello, everybody. So, for those who have been watching the news and everything, I obviously know all the everything that's going on in LA and Los Angeles, and with the riots and protesters and everything, and with ICE, just taking people and deporting them and everything. Now, look, I'm the first person to say, okay, I don't want violence. Obviously, nobody wants violence. I mean, some people might, but I don't want violence. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't want violence too. They just want what's right for Americans. And I think that those people should be protected. And it's sad that we, as America, we don't know that yet. And we're still fighting about stupid policies and everything. But, so immigrants aren't statistics. There are neighbors, co-workers, friends, and the heart of America's story. So, like I said, I don't agree with the rioters that are in LA or everywhere else in major cities, because they're destroying other people's property, law enforcement's property, state's property, what have you, and looting. I don't agree with that. I do, however, agree if you're protesting peacefully. That's how change happens. If you want to protest peacefully. During Martin Luther King, when they were trying to change those laws, and everything, him and his group and everybody else, thousands of other people, they weren't out there rioting, and they were just protesting. And they would sit in diners and have, white people pour hot coffee on them, or throw food on them, or, ketchup and mustard, whatever, stuff like that, And they would just sit there peacefully until the cops arrived and arrested them. And they didn't fight the cops either, They didn't throw things at them. They got arrested and they went to jail. And eventually they were released. But that's how the change happened. And I think that's how change is supposed to happen. You can't fight it. You can't fight the law enforcement. You definitely can't fight the military. I mean, they're going to win all the time. And it's sad that it's come to that for people to see what's going on, but it's the reality that it has come to that. I don't agree with it, but I do understand why they're doing it. But like I said, I don't agree with it. If you want to protest peacefully. All right, I just want to get that out of the way. Protest peacefully. But let's ask, why deportation hurts? What's the real world impact? Well, deporting people, leads to breaking up families, parents versus U.S. born kids, ripping someone from a life they've built for like 10 plus years, punishing people who contribute, pay taxes, and live peacefully. The millions of immigrants who come over, they just want to live peacefully. They don't want to be bothered. They're leaving for a reason. They're escaping a messed up country, not just Mexico. There's other immigrants from other countries. They don't want to live there, and they want to come to America because, in their eyes, America is nice and there's freedom. So, well, I just want to look at the humanity aspect of it. I'm not going to break down statistics or anything, because at the end of the day, that shouldn't matter. Because we're all human. And, there's a lot of people who, who came in the right way, and that's good, but not everybody can do that. And, when ICE goes inside a house or a workplace or wherever, and they take the person, who's been living here for 10 years and built a life and has a family, and maybe they speak English too, and then it's like, okay, nope, yeah, it's time for you to go. You've been in here illegally. You got in here illegally. Oh, yeah, you have your visa? Well, that doesn't matter now. You have your visa? Oh, you're working on getting your citizenship? Well, that doesn't matter now. We can still deport you. That is so stupid. And people don't care, because all they care about is, well, they don't pay taxes, and they don't contribute, and they're all criminals and everything. Now, I agree. If somebody comes into the country illegally, and they're a criminal, and there's evidence they're a criminal, and they have criminal history from the other country that they were in, by all means, deport them. And I should be able to say all countries don't want criminals, but I don't know. Some countries are crazy, but most countries, especially America, we don't want crime. If they have a history, of criminality, then deport them. By all means, deport them. But the people who are just living here and are just living their life, Trump wants to deport them just because they came in illegally. But the system is already flawed. The stupid policies and laws that are in place for immigration, they're stupid, and there's a lot of red tape. If you come over here illegally, the cartel, you have to pay the cartel, because they're not just going to let you walk through through the border all willy nilly. You have to pay them, and then a coyote brings you across, and then you get across or whatever, and they bring you in the middle of nowhere. You're in the middle of nowhere. It's not like where it's like a what's it called, the port, and you're not coming in through port, so it's not like a city or anything. You can't go to a hotel or anything. Cartel's gonna bring you to the desert somewhere, and you're gonna go in through a little tunnel, or over the fence or whatever, and you get in, and there's no one else around, and they're like, okay, here, call ICE, tell them you're here, and they'll come pick you up, and they'll take you to their processing facility or whatever, And then there's like organizations that help, immigrants and stuff, like churches and like peaceful organizations that will buy these immigrants like plane tickets and bus tickets to wherever they want to go. Chicago, LA, Phoenix, Dallas, New York, Miami, wherever they have family. And that's allowed because maybe they claim asylum or whatever. That's just the law. They can claim asylum and come over. And now, this wouldn't be a problem if 100 years ago or 80 years ago, whatever, we started deporting people as soon as they came over. Like, as soon as they came over, deport them. If we caught them, deport them right away. But the laws, there's so many stupid policies and stupid laws that run around all that. Oh, they're illegal, whatever, and so they're allowed to stay if they get a visa and everything. So that's why my opinion is my opinion. That's why I have my opinion, because I think about the humanity aspect of it. Those people don't know what they're coming into when they come to America. They don't know. They just know, they've heard, America is a better country to live in. And, everybody knows about America, obviously. And they come here, and they don't know all the laws and everything. And they get mixed up with all these stupid laws that with immigration and ICE and everything. And I really think it's unfair for those people that have to deal with that. Because they don't know what's going on. Well, yeah, let me continue. So, yeah, there's common misconceptions, like, people say, they don't pay taxes. Well, there's a lot of undocumented immigrants that do pay into Social Security and don't receive benefits. Payroll taxes, sales taxes, property taxes. They're taking our jobs. I hear that a lot. Immigrants often fill jobs others don't want, like agriculture, meat packing, caregiving, cleaning, roofing. They complement the workforce. They don't replace it. I'd also like to add like truck driving too. There's a lot of migrant, truck drivers. But what? Why should we support immigrants? Why should we support them? Well, culture richness. The food, the language, the music, the faith, the whole Mexican culture is deeply embedded in American life. Especially in places like California, Texas, Arizona, Illinois. For those who don't know about Mexican culture, should really look into it. I've been learning Spanish, so I've been like reading about Mexican culture and everything, because I knew a teeny tiny bit about it growing up, because there's people from Mexico all over, right, obviously. So, but not like how I know now, and the culture is amazing. Now, I'm not saying the whole country is amazing, like their policies and everything are amazing, but the culture is. Culture is amazing. They are the workforce backbone. They help keep industries alive, and the U.S. economy literally needs them, especially with an aging population and worker shortages. Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't want to do like those jobs, those kinds of jobs like construction and caregiving, agriculture, meat packing, cleaning. There's a lot of, immigrants who do that kind of stuff. There's a lot. Family and values. Mexican immigrants often bring strong family values, community-oriented mindsets, and resilience. That is definitely true. That Latinos seem to be more, Mexican. Just the culture itself, it's more family oriented. It's way more family oriented. Now, let's read like a little story. Just like just like a little story. That kind of basically a story that you would hear from almost every immigrant that comes over. So let me tell you about Rosa. She came here from Sonora when she was just 19. Didn't speak much English. Started cleaning hotel rooms in Phoenix. Quiet, invisible. 5 years later, she was managing the place. But Rosa never told anyone she was undocumented. She paid taxes, never missed a day of work, and sent money back home every month. One day, ICE showed up during a routine traffic. She had a busted tail light. Within 48 hours, she was deported. No goodbyes, no second chances, just gone. Her 7-year-old son is still here in foster care. This is the kind of story that plays out quietly every day, and people still ask why we should care. That's sad. But yeah, like there's a lot of stories, like that and everything. But no human being is illegal. They came here with dreams, not demands. Immigrants aren't a burden, they're a blessing. And guys, you can't love tacos and hate the people who make them. Yeah, I love tacos, man. Like, they're good. The best. But it's just, everything that's going on. I'm just thinking about the human aspect of it, And people are like, well, it's the law. They're illegal. It's just the law, guys. It's just the law. Okay, well, just like during Nazi Germany, they were like, okay, guys, let's deport we got to deport the Jews, and let us know if you see any Jews around, because it's the law now. It's the law, so you must. Is that what we're gonna start doing? Because I wouldn't be surprised if there's people like that, because there are people like that. I've met people like that. They don't care about other people. They really don't. But I'll leave you guys with this. Mexican immigrants have always been part of the American story. Not as outsiders, but as builders, as dreamers, as neighbors. When we stand up for them, we're not just protecting individuals, we're defending our values, family, hard work, and hope. So next time you hear someone say they don't belong here, remember this: they do. They always have. And it's time we speak louder, not with anger, but with love, with facts, and with a heart. Thank you for listening to The Wild Archive. If this moved you, share it, speak up. Be the reason someone feels seen. Until next time, stay wild, stay human.